Over the break, you guys, I was being really like introspective. And one thing about me is like I like to watch movies, right? So over the break, I was watching movies, TV shows, things like that. But like when I watch movies, I really like to like quote them, see what messages and themes they have in it and how does it relate to my life. So I like to do it with like modern movies, but also just like older movies that I used to watch as a kid too. And when I was being introspective, I was thinking about like how I can grow in the new year. And so over the break, I had rewatched Akeelah and the Bee, which I don't know if you guys have seen. Akeelah and the Bee is a movie starring Keke Palmer, a young Keke Palmer, Angela Bassett, Lawrence Fishburne, and some other people. And in the movie, Keke Palmer's from Crenshaw, and she grew up like in an underprivileged neighborhood with a single mom who had like 4 kids. She had an older brother who was in the military. She had an older sister who had a baby. She had another younger older brother who was like trying to run with the gangs, and then it was like Akeelah, the fourth one, right? So she was a single mom because her father ended up dying. Mom was trying to win like a spelling bee, and so she's like kind of ashamed that she's smarter than the kids with her because she don't want at her school because she doesn't want to be made fun of for being like the smart kid. But basically, she wins the spelling bee, and so Lawrence Fishburne is a professor. He becomes her coach to help get her to like the national spelling bee so she can win. And throughout the movie, like, she's learning and stuff. She's learning all the words, prefixes, suffixes, and things like that. Also, she's battling with like not having a father. And funny enough, in the movie, Lawrence Fishburne, he lost his daughter, who Akeelah kind of reminds him of, and he's kind of like that father figure for Akeelah. In the movie, he's teaching her like all the words and stuff, what they mean, how to spell, how to be proper. And also too, she's battling the fact that she grew up in Crenshaw, and the kids that she's competing against, they come from like better, well-funded schools like in Beverly, where like they have more resources and things like that. So she doesn't have those things. So she's talking with that, and we see that throughout the movie. But one of my favorite scenes, like I said, like to pick themes out the movie that stick with me, is the scene where Lawrence Fishburne, he accidentally calls Akeelah his daughter's name. And after that, it's like the end of summer or like the holiday season, and Lawrence Fishburne, he tells her, he's like, it's like the climax of the movie kind of, he tells her, he's like, I can't coach you anymore, right? And so he's like, I've taught you everything, I've taught you like the Latin, the roots, all those other things, but I can't coach you anymore. And so he gives her like these 4 yellow boxes full of words, and he's like, all you have to do is like study these words and you'll be good. Come, I think she won the state spelling bee, so come to national spelling bee at that point. Like, just study these words. It's nothing else I can teach you, right? So of course Akeelah's sad because she had been learning with him like all summer and fall. So she, goes home and she's talking to her mom, and her mom is telling her that like she went to school to I forget the major she was going to, I think to be a doctor, but since she went to school she failed, like she dropped out because she thought she was going to fail, and she didn't want to see Akeelah in that same light. After that, her mom of course went to talk to Lawrence Fishburne, and he was telling her like it's nothing I can teach Akeelah, like she has to learn on her own. So Akeelah's sitting down with her mom after having this talk because she feels like so much in her life has changed. Like she's not really hanging out with her old friends, everybody is doing something else, and there's so much pressure on her to win a spelling bee. So ultimately, her mom, after her mom has a talk with her, like like you can do it, like don't be sad that Lawrence Fishburne isn't like coaching you particularly right now. So she pulls out one of the words from the boxes that Akeelah had, and she asked Akeelah to spell it. And so when she pulls the word out, of course Akeelah spells it, and her mom, Angela Bassett, she says this one thing. She says, if you look around, you'll see that you actually have 50,000 coaches around you. And that just really stuck with me because later on, the next scene, Akeelah's studying her words walking down the street, and then in comes her brother, her oldest brother, not her oldest brother, the other brother, the ones that's trying to like run with the gangs and stuff. And he walks up on her to see what she's doing, and then the gang leader, he drives by, right, and he sees Akeelah, but Akeelah's been on TV at this point, like she's the girl who's winning this national, trying to win a spelling bee from Crenshaw. So he rolls up on him, and the brother's like, oh, I'm trying to ride with you, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to be cool, ride with him. And the guy, he's talked to Akeelah, he was like, what you doing? He like, oh, she's just learning some words and stuff like that, like trying to play it off nonchalant. And so her brother, the guy says, well, I won something once, like I wrote a poem. And the brother's just trying to laugh, like, a poem and stuff like that, just try to knock it off. But the gang guys, he's like, well, what do you think rap is? Like, so then after that, he's like, well, what you up to? Asking the little brother what he up to. And the little brother's like, I'm trying to come with you. And he's like, he looks at Akilah and he's like, nah, man, help your sister, right? And after that scene, when he told the brother to help Akilah, Akilah said at that moment, she said 50,000 coaches. And it cuts to a montage of like Akilah, she's walking with the mailman. The mailman is helping her teach her the words. Her parents, her siblings are helping her like learn the words, memorize the words. And it cuts to like her teacher helping her learn the words. It cuts to like the guy at the grocery store helping her learn the words. It cuts to the older gentleman at the coffee shop helping her learn the words. And like it's just showing how she has so much support, how she has so much support around her. And that scene really stuck out to me because it was like 50,000 coaches. And I think the lesson here is that so many times like we're always trying to be like, oh, how can I learn something, how can I grow and develop, right? Like if you're like an introspective person like me, like how can I learn and grow? And I think so many times we're like always trying to buy some course or listen to somebody that's like on the other side of the country, this millionaire who's like selling this AI ChatGPT course of how you can change your mindset to grow in this area, to be rich, to learn real estate, to learn all these different things. And really, I think sometimes it's so important to not neglect the support that we have around us and like really embody that and be grateful for that, because I think when we're grateful for the support we have around us and honestly changing our perspective, you know, we could benefit from that. I think in various movies, like in Willy Wonka, right? He's like, if you want to view paradise, right, just simply look around and view it. Like if you want the support, you can always start by recognizing the ways that people around you can help you grow as a person. And I think so many times we kind of neglect that because we're like, oh no, like I have to do this, because like you don't immediately see where you want to be around you, but that doesn't mean that you can't take something from you. Like, yeah, maybe you don't have like a millionaire around you, but what lessons can you learn from these people? How can they help support you? Maybe that support is them, you know, giving you words of affirmation. Maybe that support is like them taking you to this lesson, you know, giving you money, I don't know, for a bus card, but like to get you there, but like just to get those like wheels churning and be an emotion of like the goal you want to achieve. If you're on that pathway to the goal, like support will show up around you. And I think it's so important that we keep that lesson in mind. And that's why I really was like, I watched that movie back and I just really enjoyed it, because I was like, yeah, like, oh my god, like it's so many things we can learn, like really just look around us. And and it also made me think about this my life, how I think on TikTok we see so many like relationship stuff, right? Like, oh, men versus women, blah 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 blah, especially like in the Black community. But it was making me think about this friend I had at school. And last semester I met him, and I just went up to him because I had class with him, and he was just like super cool, like he's super funny guy, like. And so I had went up to him one day. I was like, you know what? Me and you got the same personality, like we personality twins. He was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, like we personality. Mind you, I don't really speak in his class that we were in. But like fast forward a week later, he see me in a lunchroom and he started talking to me. And I'm like, we just chatting up. He telling me all about his background and things he do for work. And I'm like, oh my god, like he's so cool. Like we clicked really well. And so he was telling me how like in high school he used to be like, you know, the guy was like playing sports, like get girls and things like that. Like it was just like he was like the cool kid in school, right? So he was telling me, but like he's ended up taking like some gender studies courses, right? And he was just changing his mindset about women and male and female like gender roles and things like that. So, you know, we be talking about that. I joked about that with him. But I was really thinking about it over break, because I think so many times I'm just, maybe just my For You page, I'm just constantly seeing stuff about like, especially like I said, in the Black communities, like men versus women, all this other stuff, right? And I was joking on him. I was like, dang, I need to talk to him, because I'm not having empathy for the male species right now. Like it's really blowing me. And I was feeling like, oh, like I could just watch people on YouTube, like, I don't know, like the Cheryl Sevens, or this is no diss or anything like that, or like the red pill or the pink pill. Like I could just watch all these videos. And but also too, I was just like, well, why not learn from somebody who actively in their life told me how they've changed their perspective as a person? Like me, somebody who values like ambiguity and, you know, just looking at things from different perspectives. I was like, you know what, let me just ask him, like so I was like, you know, I'm gonna talk to him when I see him. But yeah, I just think that's just a little funny like analogy. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I just thought it was so funny, because it's like, if we really look at the people around us, we can kind of grow. Even if the situation isn't exactly the same, sometimes the overall themes and lessons are the same. So while you feel like, oh, they can't help me in, I don't know, stocks, what undertone does stocks have? Maybe it's patience, right? Like maybe this person can teach you patience about the ups and downs in life, and then you can apply that to a different scenario, or you can apply it to the stock. So it's just really, to me, about really looking at the support you have around you and using that. And while you may think, oh dang, my one coach, my one leader, like Akila thought, he wasn't there to help me, like how am I going to learn and chart and for the national spelling bee? But it was like, you know what, let me just actually use the support I have around me to help me grow as a person. And while you're doing that, you understand that you're building those better connections in those relationships anyway. So that's just a little message I want to share. I think maybe I'll make a series about this, like undertones and themes in movies that I like, because I do have a few that I really like and like to think about. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Bye.